Okay. Hi, welcome to Duke University Graduate School Financial Aid Google Chat. I am Lisa Wiskowski. I'm the Financial Aid Coordinator for the Graduate School.
And I'm Iryna Merenbloom,
Welcome to
Assistant
Duke University
Dean,
Graduate Aid Google
Aid
Chat.
Office.
I am Lisa Wiskowski. I'm the Financial Aid Coordinator for the Graduate School. Okay, so thank you so much in advance for your questions. Several of the questions that we had pertain to the same subjects, so we're going to kind of address several items at once. We received several questions about stipend. Um, One question came in. I got a stipend of $30,000 for the 2017-18 academic year. I want to know in what means these monies will be given to me and how much tax I should pay in usual cases. That affects how much I can spend for my everyday life. And it asked also, another question asked what the average taxes are withholding. What is taxed? Okay, the first thing we need to explain is there are two ways that PhD students are paid at Duke. You are either paid as a compensatory student, which means there's a service provided from either an RA or TA position that is paid on the 25th of the month. And there's also a non-compensatory payment that is paid the last business day of a month. That is usually your fellowships or no service required. Now, when you come to Duke, you will fill out your W-4 for your taxes for your compensatory payroll department. Now, if you would like taxes withheld from your non-compensatory payment, which I said was paid on the last business day of the month, you will need to fill out separate tax forms for that income. And you need a note on the top of the tax form that it is for non-compensatory. If you do not fill out this tax form, you will not have taxes withheld from this fellowship, which is considered earned income. Also, you asked, how is a stipend paid to me? All, all Duke students, we encourage you to set up direct deposit with our payroll. This is something that your department will handle with you when you come to Duke for your first visits. Um,
And so if your stipend is compensatory, you will receive payment on the 25th of each month. And if your stipend is non-compensatory, service is not required, you will receive your money on the last day of each month. So your first stipend will be either December 25th or, September 25th or September 30th.
So make sure that you are financially supporting yourself until you arrive to Duke. We do not have emergency funds to provide to you until you arrive to campus.
So the next question is it true that base stipend for PhD students increases based on inflation every year? If true, do you use an official inflation rate number from the government? Well, the answer is sometimes we increase PhD stipend every year, sometimes we don't. It depends on the funding sources that are available for the university. It depends on historical growth. So we do not use any government inflation rates, and we cannot guarantee that the stipend will go up, but we are trying our best. Next question. Will I receive the amount of financial support to help supplement the cost of moving? If so, how much and when?
Unfortunately, we do not offer any funding for students until you're actually enrolled at Duke and receiving your stipend. The first month that you arrive at Duke, you will have to make sure that you are covering yourself financially. Now, as far as master students, that's totally different. PhD, like we discussed, you will get paid as a non-comp or compensatory. For master students, domestic students who have accepted or will be accepting the federal loan programs or private loans, those loans will disperse 10 days prior to classes beginning. But that does not mean you're going to get your refund 10 days before classes. Refunds will be processed the first week of classes. So you're going to be getting emails from the student loan office and from the bursar saying your loans are dispersing, but you can expect to get that refund the first week of classes.
Question number 3. Is it possible to receive funding for the coming summer? I will be moving across the country and leaving my master's program to come to Duke.
Like I said before, if you're a PhD student, we do not. You'll have to financially support yourself until the end of September. For master's students, once again, if you've done all of your checklist items, then you should have your loans, your federal loans or private loans, dispersing, like I said, 10 days prior to class and refunding during the first week of classes.
Next question. When can matriculated students expect to receive a financial aid package?
We are working on those financial aid packages this week. You should have a financial aid notification. You'll get an email that says your Duke Hub financial aid is available for review. So if you do not get a financial aid package, master students only, domestic, you will need to email grad-finade@duke.edu on Monday and let me research why you didn't receive that financial aid notification.
What is the approximate financial aid I can obtain? How can I obtain?
Okay, this goes back to our master students again, our domestic master students. What we have available to our domestic master students is the unsubsidized federal Stafford loan. The maximum you can borrow on that is $20,500. That's for an academic year. If you need more than that, you can get a Grad Plus loan that is based on credit. It's not looking for a credit score, but it's looking for any type of derogatory credit. The Grad Plus loan goes up to the cost of attendance. So basically, if you look at our cost of attendance budget for our master's students, you will take the overall figure, which I believe is a little over 76,000, minus the 20,500, and then the difference you can take as a Grad Plus, or you can also look at our private loans. The Duke Student Loan Office has a recommended list of private lenders that we have looked at and have given all the footwork for you in one website for you to decide if you want to do private or federal. That is up to you. But either way, those are the loan programs that are available to our master's students, domestic only.
And this answers the next question, can we get loans from U.S. banks?
Absolutely. The recommended lender list, if you're looking for a private loan, look there. Also, there are some international loans, international student loans available, but it is very dependent upon what program you are enrolled in at Duke. For example, engineering program can look at the Prodigy loan programs, but I would encourage you to still go out to those banks. If you've also an international student, if you've got a U.S. cosigner, that also is something that might be available to you.
I did not get a Duke scholarship, and I'm not a U.S. citizen, so can't fill FAFSA. What are the options for funding available to me? Can't I get departmental scholarship? My program is ECE. How to get that?
Once again, international funding is very limited depending on, of course, what program you are in. The Prodigy loan program, I would definitely look at that. Look at the website, the recommended lender website under the student loan office to see if there's something else available to you. I would also circle back to my department and explain to them that, you are very wanting to come to Duke, but your finances are holding you back. Is there something they can suggest? Is there any way that they can help you with this?
How much can I earn from part-time jobs on campus? What is the nature of a part-time job? Is there any TA array opportunities for graduates? So our answer is, we don't know. What part-time job can you find? How much it will pay? How many hours you will have to work there? That's beyond our control. To the best of our knowledge, there are TA array opportunities for graduate master's students. However, this is the question for your program, for your department. You have to start there and ask them whether they have any TA or array, research assistantship or teaching assistantship positions available for the master's students.
And keep in mind, if you are working, you are not allowed to work more than 19.9 hours per week while you're enrolled.
If I can get an external full scholarship, for example, from the government of my country, can I still be considered for the merit waiver granted to students after the completion of the first semester? That is the question for your department. How they will handle the situation depends on your program and your department.
Mhm.
Is the tuition waiver for the summer session?
Well, it
Uh,
depends if you're a PhD student and you're
and
in a
and
12-month program.
right, and in what program you
Mhm.
are. Um, there are 12 months programs that will offer you tuition waiver for the summer, and there are 9 months programs that do not offer any summer support. And you should know it from your financial aid notification letter that comes right after your offer of admission.
That's exactly right. And that's for the PhD students. Like I stated, the master students' financial aid notifications for domestic students will be processed this week.
How much do international students need to submit in the first installment and when? So the way I interpret this question is you're asking how much you should pay to the bursar for your tuition and fees the very first time. And the answer is once you enroll in classes and receive the bill sometime in June, you will have to pay the bill in full by the first Monday of August. There is no installments unless you make special arrangements with the bursar office. If you have questions about it, please contact bursar.duke.edu with your questions. You can call them or you can research their website. They have different options for how to pay the bills, and they have the bill schedule. But basically, the tuition and fees fall bill has to be paid in full by first Monday of August.
All right, the next question says, I've received scholarship along with my admission letter to Duke. Yay! Would it be possible to request an increase for the scholarship per semester? That is actually up to the department. It doesn't hurt to ask. I would ask them what their guaranteed funding is for your scholarship for the terms that you're going to be enrolled until you graduate. But that is totally up to the department. That's their discretionary money.
How much does it cost to attend Duke for a master's?
For a master's programs are 9-month
In
programs.
ECE?
Oh, in ECE,
it's the
it's the
same
same.
for every master's program.
And the master's cost is a little over 76,000. You will find the actual figures on our grad school website under cost financial support, cost to attend master students. But all programs, master's programs are the same.
So you're expected to be fully enrolled for 3 semesters and pay full tuition for 3 semesters. And then if you need to take additional classes, you will be charged per credit. And you can find these numbers on the graduate school website, tuition, stipend, and fee schedule.
And that is under the financial support, financial policies, resources, and forms. What is the maximum number of credits that can be completed in a semester without being charged credit? You're allowed to take between 9, this is master students, 9 to 12 credits per semester. Anything above that will need to be approved from your from the graduate school and your director.
Up to 15. But you will not be charged any extra money, but you have to be enrolled full time, and it's between 9 and 12 credits.
Okay, when do financial aid awards appear on the Duke website for 2017-18 academic year? If you're looking for federal loans, Like I stated, we will send those master student financial aid notifications out by the end of the week. If you're asking about the PhD students, we accept your awards on your behalf once you decide to matriculate, so you will not have access to your financial aid panel in the Duke Hub website, or the Duke Hub portal, I'm sorry.
How successful are Duke Master graduates in repaying graduate loans before applying for a PhD
Program. Okay.
program?
Keep in mind, once you graduate with your master's, if you go into the apply to the PhD program and get accepted, of course, your federal loans will go into deferral. Keep in mind that I'm not sure how private loans work. Depends on who your lender is as far as if there's any deferral when you get when you are re-enrolled in school. But that's up to you. It depends on what you borrow, what borrowing or repayment plans that you're looking at. There's so many repayment plans that you can decide from with your federal loan programs. Unlike the private, they probably limit what they allow you to have as repayment options. You can look at studentaid.ed.gov. It's got repayments of federal loans, what programs you would like to go into. They've got the income base, graduated. There's so many repayment options for the student loan programs now.
Do master students have a good chance of securing funding when heading into their second year of graduate studies? It depends on your department.
It does. And if you're looking at the federal loan programs, once again, keep in mind that that $20,500 is per academic year. So you're eligible for that your second year if you file your FAFSA and become eligible. And the FAFSA requirements, when you file your FAFSA, what students are able to file it. And of course, it tells you right off the bat, you get that $20,500. Now, keep in mind that that loan is going to be split between fall and spring. So say that you're doing a 3-semester program, you need to advise our office that you are only here for the fall semester of, let's say, 2018, because then we need to apply that full $20,500 to just that one semester. So the Federal Grad Plus loan, you're eligible for that each year. Once again, it's based on credit. It's based on your need. So just keep that in mind.
Do master students have a good chance of securing? Okay, we just answered that question.
I'm sorry.
Do typical career outcomes of Duke Master graduates make it possible to affordably repay their average graduate student loan debt?
It just depends on what you borrow. Smart borrowing is key. And a lot of students I meet with, we go over their budget. I mean, we decide exactly how much they need per month, and we can get their loan down to that amount to disperse exactly for what they need. You can also look at repayment. We can kind of ballpark where their repayment's going to be based on what plan that they would like to take. It's basically what you're borrowing and being smart about borrowing and knowing that you're not going to overextend yourself with, even though we give you the cost of attendance budget of $76,000. That doesn't mean you have to borrow that full amount. You just have to be conscious about what you're borrowing and how to pay it back.
And I also want to add that it all depends on your department and what are you studying. Some departments told us that they have very good placements for their students, and students have no problems repaying their loans. But your department will know about the placements. They have statistics and about earnings, how much their students earn after graduation. So I encourage you to talk to your department about this.
It also asks how much are living expenses. So when we calculate the cost of attendance budget, tuition and fees, of course, are a different cost of attendance portion of your budget. The living expenses, there are 9 graduate financial aid offices on campus where we survey students in the previous year to find out what they paid on rent, cell phone, transportation, everything. And then we come up with the living portion of your budget. This year, it tends to be $2,066 per month is what is calculated into your cost of attendance budget for living expenses. You don't have to spend. If you don't need $2,066 a month, don't borrow it. We can, like I said, we can sit down, we can go over your budget and figure out exactly what you need and limit your borrowing as much as we can.
And there is some workshops for the.
That's exactly right. Thank you. So Personal Finance at Duke offers financial workshops for incoming students and continuing alumni staff. It's a great website, great program. If you've got questions on how to build your budget, how to balance your checkbook, how to invest, anything like that, I encourage you to look at the personalfinance.duke.edu website. And if there's not a workshop on there, you can request a workshop, and they will be happy to assist you in any way they can.
Are Perkins loans available to master's students?
Unfortunately not. We have lost the Perkins loan. So the last year we awarded them were the 2016-17 year. We no longer have the Perkins loan. All we have is the unsubsidized loan and the Grad Plus loan.
What is the difference of tuition, financial aid, and the fee scholarship? Will fee scholarship come into my account? No, tuition and fee scholarships for PhD students are paid directly to the bursar account. And you don't receive it on your checking account, but we pay your bursar bill. I hope this answered the question. I'm an international student admitted to a PhD program. I'm planning to bring my spouse with me. What amount of money should be certified to prove his financial support?
So actually there's a spot on our website that speaks about international support and what you're required as far as visa services to bring financially, or I'm sorry, to prove financially for your dependent to come to the U.S. with you. I would encourage you to reach out to the iHouse. They also have that figure, and also our website under financial support shows those figures.
For a MOLS international student, is it possible to get any external scholarship or other forms of financial help? Whether you're MOLS or not MOLS, the answer is the same.
Exactly. If you can obtain an external fellowship, please, if that's going to help bring those costs down for you, obtain it. As far as the international, our hands are kind of tied. We do the federal direct loan programs. I would encourage you also check with the department. They might have a need-based application for master's students, or they might also have a merit base. But either way, reach out to your department and see if they offer scholarships or any type of application to apply for those scholarships.
Is housing something that students look for themselves? Yes. If not, what are reasonable rates to expect? So there is a website, Housing Student Affairs. It's on Student Affairs website. They have this housing information for all the students that want to live off campus, and the graduate students have to live off campus. There is no enough on campus
Also keep in mind
living
that,
places.
right, and Duke
Yes.
List, it's dukelist.duke.edu. That's apartments, houses. It is our classified ads for Duke, for employee, staff, alumni. You can look for roommates there. There's also a website, I believe it's offcampushousing.duke.edu. Like Iryna said, it's under the student affairs. You can also list where you'd like to live if you're searching for a roommate.
Yes.
That's a website that's actually out there to
Yes.
help you.
Right. And recommended places to live. I know that the first year financial aid will be covered by TA-ship. What about the next few years? So I assume that this question was asked by a PhD student. And my answer is it depends what you're studying. It depends what department you're on. So it could be TA-ship, it could be fellowship, it could be research assistantships. It's all very individual, and you have to talk to your advisor when you become a student about that, or your director of graduate studies or director of graduate studies assistant.
And they'll notify you of any available positions in your department. How do I obtain an in-state status as an international student? I would check with the iHouse. the International House on campus. I'm not sure what requirements are needed to establish that residency.
But they know.
We rely on them a lot. The iHouse is a great place to start.
It means international house,
Yes.
like Lisa said. Yeah, I just want to clarify.
Yes.
Okay, what are the teaching responsibilities for PhD students in order to receive financial aids after the first year? PhD students usually are guaranteed 5 years of support, and they receive stipend. That is a combination of research assistantship, teaching assistantship, and fellowship, no service required. It's all very individual. We have 60 programs, and none of them is the same as another one. So you have to talk to your department, to your director of graduate studies assistant, and to your director of graduate studies. But in most cases, majority of students are guaranteed 5 years of stipend, and teaching responsibilities are vary from the department to department. In one department, they do one thing, in another department, they have completely different TA responsibilities. So that's very individual.
And also bringing back to the stipend, we were talking about your compensatory and non-compensatory stipend. Keep in mind that you can receive both of those in 1 month. Say that you are a TA, well, you're going to get paid on the 25th. Say you also have a fellowship, you're going to get a check on the last business day of that month. So keep in mind.
Right. But between all the sources that are available and pay your stipend, you will get one fixed amount per month, as it states in your financial aid notification letter.
Okay, for MS program, suppose you did not get a Duke Scholarship in your admission letter. When you say Duke Scholarship, I interpret that to mean Department of Scholarship.
Yes.
In your admission letter, does it signify you have lost chances of departmental scholarships too? Are they same or different? Well, I would reach out to your department. If I have sent you a financial aid notification, which is the loan programs, then I have not heard from your department as far as scholarship. That doesn't mean you didn't get it. I would verify back with the department, did you get a department scholarship? And if so, can they convey that information to the graduate school?
Because we're not sure what you mean by Duke Scholarship. All scholarships offered to master's students are offered by their department. I got admitted in the Duke Global Health Institute. As an international student, I would like to know if any funding is available that I can apply for. So again, it depends on your department. And also we have this very good tool on the graduate school website. It's called Find Funding. And then you enter you highlight whether you're international or domestic, master's or PhD, and in what department you're in, and they help you find funding.
And also, I would encourage you to go to the ors.duke.edu website, and you will go under funding opportunities, graduate and professional student funding. I encourage you to set up a pivot table. So what you will do is you will specify what type of scholarships you would like to be included in the emails. For example, if you are a biomedical engineering PhD and you're interested in the National Science Foundation, you can specify certain criterias to get alerts of these scholarships becoming available through the website. There's so many opportunities out there that I can't keep up with them, and the Office of Research Support is amazing at keeping up with them and notifying our students. If you set up a pivot table, they will notify you of scholarships coming that you might be available to apply for.
What are the financial aid application requirements for international students?
Check with your department. They might have a need-based or they might have a merit-based. As far as the graduate school, we just do the federal loan programs for the domestic students. Anything for international students is going to come from the department.
Since same-sex partners are not allowed to marry in my country, we decided to get married. Oh yeah, congratulations!
Congratulations.
In the US, which means my partner is not eligible to become my dependent
Mhm.
until we arrive in the States. So I wonder if it is possible to adjust my financial aid package after marriage certificate is obtained in order to meet the additional life expenditure. Well, the answer is that you get financial aid package just for yourself, no matter you're married or not married
Right.
and how many kids you have.
Mhm.
So
It's not going to make a difference
it's
to
gonna
your
right.
financial aid
Yes.
if you're married or not married. All master students are treated the same. And we are here to help you fund your education to get you to your completion.
How are disbursements handled?
Mhm.
When are disbursements distributed? If there is an overage of monies, are they distributed to the students?
Okay, so we're talking about the federal loan programs for master student domestic. So the loans will disperse to your bursar account and tuition and fees will come out of your loan disbursement. Whatever remains will be refunded to the student. Now, like I said, those refunds are going to be processed the first week of classes. But keep in mind, make sure that you've completed all your to-do and your checklist items. I know a lot of students are waiting for that disbursement and they didn't do the entrance counseling, or they forgot to sign the promissory note. They didn't do the endorsement of the plus loan. I definitely encourage you to set up direct deposit on the Duke Hub portal. It's under forms and resources to get your refund quicker. But yes, after tuition and fees come out of your loan proceeds, that is refunded back to the student.
Will I receive more aid if I come with outside health insurance?
That would be probably more like PhDs. For the PhD students, you'll have to file a waiver. If the waiver
Yes.
is approved,
Yes, and student health will talk about it later.
mhm,
If you waive health insurance, that we are supposed, as a graduate school, are supposed to cover for you, you will get a one-time payment of $600 sometime in November. Now, if you lose your insurance later in the year and you have to sign up for the Duke insurance because all Duke students must have insurance, then we will expect you to pay some amount of this um, payment back.
the supplement that we had given you.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Will I receive more
Mhm.
information about the Durham Teaching Fellowship
Hmm.
or have those decisions been made?
That is the Masters of Teaching program, and you will need to reach out to Joanna. She will let you know if they have been completely awarded. I have not received notification from their department yet, who has been awarded the DTF. That's how we refer to it. So you want to check with Joanna about that.
If my spouse has lived in North Carolina for 12 months upon the start of the program, July, will I receive any different tuition statements considering in-state versus out-of-state tuition, or is tuition the same across the board? We do not have in-state and out-of-state rates. All rates are the same.
Mhm. Doesn't vary. Tuition's flat across the board for international or domestic.
I got a 2-year PhD fellowship from the
Excellent.
graduate school. Yay, congratulations. Does PhD funding come from a different source in years 3, 5?
3 through 5. Mhm.
And is it at the same amount as the fellowship?
So I'm thinking you probably got a Dean's Graduate Fellowship that's covering in years 1 and 2, and then it's a
Yes.
supplement in 3 and 4. You want to reach out to your department in years 3, 4, and 5. There might be service requirements, but I would reach out to them as far as how your funding is going to look in those years and what service you will be required.
Yes, you will have support,
You
stipend
will.
support,
Mhm.
but it won't be at the same rate. It will be at the rate of the approved stipend for that year. For the when you're in years 3, 4, 5, whatever stipend rate is approved at that time, that's how you will be paid.
Mhm.
Um, but the first 2 years you will get higher stipend because of the fellowship you won.
Okay. Is there a VA office available to assist with the transfer of Chapter 35 benefit certification? Absolutely. We have got a Veterans Affairs Education Office on campus. And any certification that needs to be sent to the Veterans Affairs needs to go through their office. You can send this information to me. I will then forward it on to their office, but they're responsible for invoicing the VA for your tuition and fees and also certifying your enrollment as far as if you're receiving any type of BAQ for living expenses and so forth. But we do have an office that we are so happy to assist you with that.
Roughly speaking, what is the tax rate? There is no saying, but there is a take home pay
Calculator on the payroll website. If you go, we're throwing a lot of websites at you, and I'm sorry. Finance.duke.edu under payroll, there is a take-home calculator. It's going to ask you, are you an employee? Are you a student? Of course, you're a student, and you will put your figures in and what your deductions are going to be. That's totally up to you.
Now, if you forget what websites we mentioned, please feel free to send us
Absolutely.
email and we will send you a link. There is a repeat question about international student that wants to bring the spouse and the amount of money that should be certified to prove the financial support. So we did answer this question, and
The response was, there is a section on our grad school website under the financial support that shows what international students need to financially prove to visa services for bringing their dependent or a spouse. It does vary every year, so we update those tables accordingly.
so next question is, I understand that my funding will begin
Distributing in September.
distributed in September. I'm interested in applying to a summer school program co-hosted by Duke that offers funding to accepted Duke students. Am I eligible to receive grants as a Duke student this June?
I would circle back to the department. I don't know if you're in the economics department and you're going to do a boot camp, a math boot camp, not sure. I would circle back to the department. They can absolutely contact us. As far as getting scholarships or fellowships or anything like that, you need to be an enrolled student at Duke.
If you're talking about Wioskowski program, I think it pays one-time stipend in August. We're not aware of any co-hosted by Duke summer programs. However, if you are a domestic student, if you're not international, you can arrive to campus earlier and do some work if your department has this opportunity for you. Am I eligible to receive grants as a Duke student this June? Okay, I just answered that. Are student jobs like TA-ships automatically assigned to students, or is there a system like an open call and students apply and get? If so, what percentage of students can apply? My understanding that this question came from the PhD student, so it depends on the department, I guess. They offer you TA-ship, or you ask for TA-ship, or you apply for TA-ship. It's all individual. It all based on the department you're in. When students get a spot,
Okay, while we're getting the questions uploaded, let me encourage those domestic master students that are with us to make sure you file your FAFSA as soon as you can. Our school code is 002920. And keep in mind that the two loan programs are your unsubsidized loan, $20,500, and then also the Grad Plus loan up to the cost of attendance. If you want to meet and go over your budget, we can absolutely do that. Email me. You can see the cost of living portion, like I stated. If you want to borrow less, let me know, because I will have to adjust those loans. If you go in and accept the loans, you can change those loans in the Duke Hub, but they're going to disperse evenly between those terms. And some students, of course, the health insurance is billed in the fall, so that's a $2,650 more to that cost. So keep that in mind when you're budgeting and you want those loans to be split in different ways.
When students get a spot as a student employee, are they paid or is there a decrease in tuition? So I'm not sure how to interpret this question. So if you are a master's student and you find some employment in the university, uh, I don't think there is any decrease in tuition. You just get little salary and that's it.
And it would be up to the department if they wanted to give you any type of a tuition waiver for master
Yes,
students.
yes. If you're a PhD student and you get as a student employee, well, a lot of PhD students have service requirements and they TA, teaching assistantship, or they do research assistantship as a part of their service or academic requirements. And this doesn't change anything about the tuition. Whatever tuition was paid on your behalf, it will be paid. Now, there are some students that are Duke employees, and it's completely different and very individual, and it all depends where this employee works, where does this employee study. So we are not sure how to interpret this question, but I'm pretty sure that your department will know the perfect answer. If a student who has been offered some scholarship by Duke requests a higher scholarship amount, will the university possibly reconsider and possibly increase the amount offered? If your master's students, talk to your department. If your PhD students, no. What we offer, this is the maximum. Does the university offer moving allowance? No, unfortunately, we do not. I have been told by my department that there will be some hourly paid jobs, such as grade or teaching assistant. I was wondering if these jobs would be enough to pay early tuition. I don't think
Yeah,
there will
probably
be.
not.
Probably not.
And keep in mind, you can only work 19.9 hours a week.
Does Duke offer any type of support for purchasing laptops for incoming students? No, we do not offer any type of support for that. However, there is
The
some
computer store.
opportunities to pay in installments. I think you should set the installments up when you purchase the computer at the Duke Computer Store, or work it out with the bursar's office, where this computer will be billed to your account.
Mhm.
Uh, so you can make installments. That's okay. So if we transfer credits from another school, will our stipend change? No.
No, your stipend is set by your financial aid notification that you've received. Your transfer
Yeah.
credits don't have anything to do with your stipend.
If Trump's budget passes with a decrease in funding for education, where cuts will partially come from federal work study.
Federal work study in the past 4 years has been cut drastically. Um, I can say from 4 years ago to today, it's almost less than half of what we've gotten. We've probably gotten 25% of what we had 4 years ago. So federal work study is very hard to come by, and most of the time, it's the majority of it is already allocated. Um, if you do find a position on campus, I encourage you to reach out to me and ask for the federal work study. We do have students that we award the federal work study and they accept it, but of course they don't find a position. And usually I circle back to those students after the fall semester to ask, are you intending to use these funds? And if not, we have several students who can utilize this funding. The maximum I can award in federal work study is $4,000 for the academic year. You can either earn it all in the fall, all in the spring, or split it 2,000 for each term. Unfortunately, I wish we had a lot more work study to offer to our students, but we really don't.
Is financial aid for international students likely to be affected in the future by policy changes from the new U.S. administration?
I would say no, because international students do not receive the federal loan programs that the domestic students receive. International students are either getting departmental scholarships where they need to contact the department about the amounts, or they're bringing funding from their own government, or they borrow loans from their own banks. But for the federal programs, that only obtains to or pertains to our domestic master students.
Are there hourly paid jobs like graders for master's students? Is it difficult to apply for these jobs? I believe there are paid graders jobs for the master's students in your department, so that is a very good place to start
Absolutely.
looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
Where can I find jobs that provide tuition
Wow.
waivers?
That's really up to the department that you're working for. It's their discretion for a master's student if they want to offer any type of tuition assistance, but you will have to go to the department that you are wanting to work for.
How can a master's student pay for tuition without taking out loans?
That's our magic question. It would be
Parents
and
and
savings account
savings.
and saving up money from jobs.
And of course, if your department can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
How, okay. Are there other jobs aside from TARA that offer tuition waiver? I believe this question is from the master's student. So it depends on the department.
And where
If
you're
for
working.
any chance PhD student ask teaching assistantship, research assistantship jobs that offer tuition waiver, PhD students have their tuition and fees covered for 5 years, no matter whether you're TA, teaching whether you're a teaching assistant, research assistant, or graduate assistant, or receiving a fellowship. So I'm not sure what this question means, but this is the answer. For 5 years, you're covered. As an international student, can I use my loans from my country to cover the expenses?
Absolutely. If they can pay that through your Bursar account, which through Duke Hub you can make your payments. If they can make that directly to your Bursar account, absolutely. There's a lot of international students that do have banks that pay for their tuition, and it pays directly to their Bursar account.
As an international master's student, if I want to apply for teaching or research positions, do I need to contact my department now or after enrollment?
I would do it now.
Yeah.
Because they're planning
Yeah.
the fall semester now, and as far as how many TAs and RAs they need and graders, I would definitely put a bug in there right now.
Do I decide how much taxes are taken out
Mhm.
of my stipend each month?
Yes, you will fill out, like I stated, the compensatory, you will fill out the W-4, which you will determine how many exemptions you're going to claim. And then if you want taxes withheld from your non-compensatory, which is that fellowship or no service required that is paid the last business day of the month, you will need to fill out another W-4 to specify what exemptions you want there, and also notate non-compensatory across the top of the form. Give that to your director of graduate studies assistant, and she will get that onto payroll for you.
When does my health insurance start? It starts on August 1st and ends of July 31st. And whether we pay it or not, once you're enrolled in your health insurance, you have to enroll. You have coverage, and we pay it usually for the PhD students in October.
So don't be alarmed if PhD students, you see that balance of the health insurance on your account. You will not be charged late fees or blocked due to the health insurance. They are aware of our posting schedule in October.
I did not receive financial aid from the school, but I really need it. Could you please give me some aid?
If you are a domestic master student, you need to file that FAFSA. As soon as you file it, we will get that aid to you. International, check with your department. Either way, if you're domestic or international, check with the department, see if they have any opportunities for scholarships. But if you are a domestic student, I encourage you to fill out that FAFSA. If you don't want to use a federal loan program, think about private lenders. And like I said, go back to that recommended lender list underneath the Duke University Student Loan Office. It's under dukefinancialaid.duke.edu. Go to student loans. There'll be a section for recommended lenders.
Will my financial aid tab within my Duke Net ID
Mhm.
portal not show my financial aid option until after I commit to attending graduate school?
No, once you have been offered admission and you have filed the FAFSA, you should have access to your Duke Hub after Friday. Like I said, if you do not, please email grad-finade and inquire if you filled out your FAFSA and don't have a financial aid notification. Please let me know. There might be something that your FAFSA did not recognize with our system, as far as maybe there might be a number off in the social, or the name could be spelled wrong. There's just little things that could keep it from importing into my system.
Graduating from the Global Health Program, will students be able to obtain entry-level positions that will adequately allow them to pay off debt? Well, I encourage you to talk to your department about it. They know the placements and they know how much their graduates make. So talk to them, please.
And their statistics might be listed on their website also.
Yes.
But that's an individual
Yes,
department
yes.
question.
But they're the best people to contact. All right, it was very nice
All right.
chatting
It
with
was nice
you.
to chat with you. If you have any questions, like I said, I'm Lisa Wioskowski with grad-finade at duke.edu and Iryna Merenbloom. We want to thank you for taking this time. I know this is a very important decision for you, and we are here to help you as much as we can to help make
Any
that easier.
unanswered questions or questions that we didn't answer fully from your perspective, please email us. Find out information, our email address on our website, or it's a
grad-finade at duke.edu.
And we will answer right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.